Nation, it's game day. It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, I'm going to tell you some of the things that I'm going to be looking for in the Raiders Week 12 game up against the Cleveland Browns. Now, let me just say this right from the jump. And if you agree with what I am about to say, I hope that you hit that like button. Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders, Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, Brennan Carroll, anybody that is a part of the Pete Carroll Raiders cannot afford to lose this game today. I know the Raiders are 2-8. I know the Browns are 2-8. And I don't know if I've ever seen a 2-8 playoff game for both of these teams because all eyes are going to be on Allegiant Stadium today. And quite frankly, I'm actually thankful that I get to watch 2-8 football teams and be hyped up about it because of the Shador Sanders factor. People could say what they want about Shedeur. I don't give a shit. I am happy that I actually woke up today fired up to watch a little bit of Raiders football. And it's not because of the Raiders. It's because of Shador Sanders. But because of Shedeur, because of everything around him, and all the eyeballs that are going to be on the Raiders after a stinker on Monday night, after a stinker on Thursday night. This is a playoff caliber game for the Pete Carroll Raiders as far as I'm concerned, and I'm pretty fired up about it. So what we're going to be talking about today is just some things that I'm going to be looking for in today's game. And if you're a Raiders fan, you know, it's some things that I think that you should be looking for. Even in a lost season, I've done so many of these years. You know, I'm going on now, 8 years covering the Raiders. When you have so many lost seasons, you have to look at the glass half full to try to get the ball rolling in the next season. I know we keep doing it over and over, but I do think that these are the type of games that are very important for fans to watch. So I got some things that I'm going to be looking for today, and if you want to write them down, hey, I'd appreciate it. Though, another thing that I would appreciate is we are going to be going live today, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's an hour and 5 minutes before kickoff. I love doing watch parties. I love being able to hang out with Raider Nation, and I anticipate a very large audience today. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. We're going to be having a good time today. I guarantee you that. Win, lose, or tie, it's going to be a good time today. So let's go to the very first thing that I want to see today from the Pete Carroll Raiders, and I want to see our rookies play, right? And Pete needs to prove to me, Pete needs to prove to the front office that he can develop talent in the year 2025. I don't want to hear what Pete Carroll did back in Seattle. I don't want to hear what Pete did at USC, and shout out to Oregon. That was a hell of a game. But, I'm serious when I say, I don't care about the past. I care about the present. And President Pete Carroll has not been able to show me or the front office that they know what they're doing with these young players and that they can develop the young talent. If you guys haven't been paying attention to a lot of the reports, y'all know I love to say where there's smoke, there's fire. The amount of NFL insiders right now that are linking or at least putting out there that there is a legit disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff needs to be noted. I did a video last week saying that I was told by a source that the Chip Kelly offense, Chip Kelly especially, is on the hot seat. And I'm telling you this right now. Chip's going to be nervous with this game. This could be Chip Kelly's last game with the Las Vegas Raiders if they lose today. But I'm serious when I say it because I want to see, at the end of the day, I want the Raiders to always do well. And I want the Raiders to prove to me that we can go in the right direction. A lot of people are getting mad at me because I've said it. I'm done with the Pete Carroll Raiders, but I'm done with the Pete Carroll Raiders because they don't do anything that makes sense on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, right? So today, prove to me and your fans that you are at least trying to listen to your own front office, listen to the outside noise, but it's not only listen, it's doing what is right. And I just want to see some of our younger players go out there and get some reps. Obviously, Ashton Genty's going to get his work, but also, at the same time, I don't think he's been getting enough work. Let's prove to everybody that we are not an idiotic franchise that drafted a running back number 6 overall and did absolutely positively nothing to address that offensive line. It's your bed. You're laying in it, and I hope that you're warm. Let's go to Jack Bech. I think he deserves more snaps. And I want to see more work out of Bech. Bech has proven this season to be the better rookie wide receiver over Dante Thornton Jr. And I know how the Raiders, Pete Carroll Raiders, work. They come up with an idea in their mind, and they're so stubborn in making that idea come true that they just ignore everything that is up to them, everything that is presented to them. Doesn't matter, stats, numbers, tape, but they keep putting out there Dante Thornton Jr. over Jack Bech. That's an idea that you came up with at the beginning of the season. It just can't keep happening anymore. Dante's my guy. I was talking to his agent over the weekend. Dante is a phenomenal human being. His agent, I'm telling you, they're all great people. But this is about winning football games. And we got to put Jack Besh out there a little bit more, especially over Dante. Darian Porter had a great week at practice. I know Pete Carroll said it, but when Pete says something anymore at these press conferences, I hate what I'm about to say, but I feel like I'm listening to Josh McDaniels again. It's a bunch of dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodging questions. It's a bunch of answers that have real no meaning. It's a lot of words that I'm like, what did you say? Because I don't know what you're telling me. But Pete said that Darian Porter had a good week of practice. I reached out to some of my people, and I'll be real, one of the guys that I talk to all the time was like, I think Darian's looked the exact same. But, if Pete's saying it, then that's a good sign. I want to see Darian Porter out there because I promise you this. If Darian Porter does not outsnap Kai Blue Kelly after you, Pete, said that he had a great week of practice and after, 10 games of seeing how awful Kai Blue is, he's had one good game. And he got lucky, I would say, in those 2 interceptions. But, I don't know what else you need to see in your mind. I don't know what else you need to see on tape. I want to see some of these rookies play. I want to see Caleb Rogers. He better play over Will Putnam. I know that they said they wanted to put the best 5 out there on the line, but the amount of missed opportunities, amount of missed blocks, the just amount of awful tape that Will Putnam put on display last week, and you're putting him at center, and I get it. They got Kenny Clark, they had Quinn Williams, Osu Odigizua. The Cowboys have a good defensive line now with Quinn Williams, but you knew that. You had an extra week to prepare, right? Not an extra week. You had an extra 3-4 days to prepare. I want to see the fact that we drafted 2 receivers in the 2nd and 4th round. We drafted 2 offensive linemen in the 3rd round. And if those guys aren't better than the dudes we're putting out there on the field, that's a whole nother problem, right? So I want to see Caleb Rogers out there. I want to see Charles Grant. I'll be real, I don't really think it's going to happen. I know some people were poking fun at Pete's comments about Stone Forsythe, but honestly, they're true. This is the best football Stone Forsythe has ever played in his NFL career, and I know that's not saying a lot, but again, Pete's going to rock with his guys. Stone has played well, and I don't really have my gripe. I do have my gripes with Stone, but at this point in the season, again, does it make just more sense to put Charles Grant out there, get him some reps? Does it make more sense maybe to kick DJ Glaze into guard and let Charles Grant get some extra reps at right tackle? 2-8. Let's see what our young guys can have, because to me, I think that you're going to earn a lot more respect from fans, front office, to prove that you deserve to keep your job next season if you show that you can develop rookies. Because going into a season where we got 10 draft picks, $115 million in salary cap space, I want to be able to I want to know that you guys are smart enough to put us in the right direction moving forward. You haven't been able to do that. I don't expect to see Cam Miller. I don't expect to see Cody Lindenberg. Maybe Lindenberg will get some extra reps on special teams. But I also want to see Tonka Hemingway. I also want to see J.J. Pegues, because the Browns' offensive line is not any good. And I'm in the business of trying to build players up. I'm in the business of building confidence, and I don't think benching and doing all the things that this Raiders staff has been doing, once in a while, if a guy is not active, okay. But if you're a rookie and you're looking at what the hell is going on right now with the Raiders, you're like, I don't know if this is the organization that I wanted to draft me. And I look at the Cleveland Browns with a rookie quarterback in Shador Sanders and an offensive line that has struggled a ton, and I would love for J.J. Pegues and Tonka Hemingway to go out there and play, get their confidence up. And if they don't play well, then don't let them play next week. But to me, this is a game where you try to get your young players involved and you try to build their confidence up. The Browns offense stinks. The Browns defense, though, might be one of the best defenses in the NFL. Here's the next thing. And you know what? If you want to boo me for this statement, go right ahead. I hope Geno Smith gets booed. I hope the moment he walks into Allegiant Stadium today, I hope the janitor looks at him and they boo him. I hope Geno Smith, when he walks into the locker room today, gets booed. I hope when Geno Smith walks out into the tunnel for warm-ups, gets booed. I hope when Geno gets announced as the team's starting quarterback today, you hear the loudest boo out there. And the only reason why I say that is because voices can be loud. I had a Raiders fan on Twitter say, I don't know why you do what you do. You have no impact at all. And if you want to think that, that's fine. I totally disagree with it, because I think that this show has been able to prove over the years that we do have a voice. But you also have a voice. I have a voice. Raider Nation has a voice. And you could say whatever you want. I know Mark Davis cares about his pockets, no doubt about it. But Mark Davis does care about the opinion of Raider Nation. And I think today, if we are loud, and I mean loud in our anger towards Geno Smith, because again, man, you can't just keep spitting in the face of a fan base that did have your back all off season. And I get it, some people didn't. But for me personally, I know that I did. And I want Raider Nation's frustrations to be heard. But I'll also say this. I'm somebody that is a believer in when people say things, there should be meaning behind them. And Geno, for you to say blame Geno, maybe you didn't think it would turn into what it is now, but, words have price tags. You also said, though, that you play better with your back up against the wall. So I'll tell you this right now. If I was a QB, if I was a player, if I was a host at Chat Sports, and every time I walked in to go do my thing, I got booed, and I mean loudly booed every time, I'd be like, oh, wow, man, I better get this shit figured out. So my question to you is this. Do you want the Raiders to win today? And I put this out on social media, and I'm going to make it the pinned comment here on today's show, and it's simple. If you want the Raiders to win today, give me a just win, baby, down below. If your team tank, then type team tank below. My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to go, I'm rooting for the Raiders to win today. And I know that might shock some people. You're definitely going to see sarcastic Mitch, but I woke up today excited to watch the Raiders. And yeah, I woke up excited to watch the Raiders today more because I want to see what Shedeur looks like. I want to see what this game between 2-2-8 teams look like. Two teams with horrible offensive lines and, two teams that have some of the best players, if not, the two best players on defense going up against each other. But I want to see Gino Smith play well. I want to be very clear on that. I'm going to boo him. Oh, my God, am I going to boo him today? And I hope everyone does. But I want Geno to play well. I want Chip Kelly to do well. I want Pete Carroll to do well. I want Brennan Carroll to do well. I want to be a happy Raiders fan. It's the God-honest truth. I also want the Raiders to win because, I'll tell you this, man. If you lose to Shedeur and the Browns, I do think somebody could end up getting fired. Selfishly, I don't really want anyone to get fired during Thanksgiving week because I got family, I got friends coming into town, and it's going to be a story that I don't really want to have to cover during the holidays. And I think the other part of it again is when you spit in the face of Raider Nation, and I personally, I've been getting some wild messages from IG. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go check out my Instagram at MitchellRens365. But at the end of the day, I'm going to rock with the Raiders, and I'm always going to root for the Raiders to win. And I know people want this team to tank, but I'm a believer that you're not going to get good players, you're not going to get good coaches if you just keep tanking because nobody's going to want to come play for you. And it happened this past year. It's why we didn't get Vrabel. It's why we didn't get Ben Johnson. It's why, a lot of times I feel like, are we overpaying guys to just come in here and collect a paycheck? I don't want to see it anymore. We did the whole tank thing last season, and we're even worse than we are right now. I'm going to root for the Raiders to win today, and I hope that you guys root for the Raiders to win today with me. But I want to be clear. I'm going to be booing Geno Smith. All right, we got more things that I want to see here in a moment. But if you don't know, today's show, sponsored by Prize Picks. Hard-hitting football, it's even better with Prize Picks. I had a Prize Picks lineup in yesterday, watching a lot of the college games, and thought there was, a lot of good college football games. But to me, if you're like, dude, I don't care about the Raiders, I don't care about the Browns, why should I watch this game? Prize Picks. Give yourself something to root for. If you're not waking up every single day with something to drive for, something that, again, gets you out of bed, I'm not saying Prize Picks should get you out of bed, but my point is when you have something to root for, it just makes the game so much better. And on Prize Picks, you keep the season rolling by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. I did want to show you guys my lineup today. I hope that you can see it. And yeah, I know, I got to clean my screen. I went more Ashton Jeanty, 16.5 receiving yards, less Ashton Jeanty, 15.5 rush attempts, which that better not be the case, Chip. I'm telling you. I don't want to see another 27 throws to 3 running back runs in the first half. And then I'm going to go Ashton Jeanty, less than 55.5 rushing yards. One of the things that I like about Prize Picks is you can stack. So if there's a certain player that you want to watch a little bit closer, to me for the Raiders, it's Jeanty or Bowers. I'm going to do a stack probably on Jeanty or Bowers every week because, again, give me something to root for. And then Geno Smith, I took the less on the 14 fantasy score. The Browns have an elite defense. That defensive line is really, really stout. I did go more on Shador Sanders interceptions. He needs one. And then Shedeur Sanders rush yards at 20.5. That is a $10 lineup to pay $80. It is a 6-pick flex play. I like to do flex plays because I also know if I only get 5 right, I get $17. And if I get 4 right, I end up getting, it's like $4. I know, nothing all that crazy, but at the end of the day, give me something to root for. All right, let's go to the next thing that I'm going to be looking for here in this Raiders-Browns matchup. Chip Kelly, the offense has got to make sense. I want to see you run the ball with Genty. I want to see you do different styles of runs. I know Chip is like, he said something this week, and I wish I could remember it, about like outside zone runs, and he was, made an asinine comment. I don't want to see pistol. I want to see us getting a balanced offensive attack. Like people a lot of times put blame on the offensive line. And again, the offensive line stinks. It's really bad. Bad run blocking. They're not good pass protecting. But if you don't want to get your quarterback killed, then I don't want to get Geno Smith killed. I know everything I've said today, but I don't. I don't want to see him get killed. I want to see the Raiders prove to me that they can put a good plan in place, because I don't know if this is going to be the staff that we're going to have next season, and I need to have hope. So show me you can put a plan in place. But like when you run a balanced offense, even if you're not picking up yards, running the football tires out a defense way more than when you just let them pin their ears back and get after your quarterback. And you kind of saw that in the Dallas game this past week where, Dallas was so fresh in the third and fourth quarter. It didn't matter. Like, we couldn't move the football. And I just want to see the Raiders stick to a plan, because Pete said he wants this team to run the football a little bit more. And one of my biggest worries of the season was you're going to draft a running back at number 6 overall behind this offensive line. It's not going to mean anything, and that's what it's looked like. Again, you made your bed. You're going to have to lay in it. But I still want to be able to see that you can execute your plan. Like, you clearly had a plan with Genty, but why is that plan kind of going out of the window? But all your other crazy plans you just seem to continue to stick with. I want to see Brock Bowers peppered with targets, and I want to see an offense that focal points Genty and Bowers. That needs to be the focal point. And if we don't see it, again, I'm going to be very, very frustrated. But the Chip Kelly offense just has to make sense. There's a reason why everybody under the sun is calling out Chip left and right. It's because it doesn't take a lot of football knowledge. And I'm not saying I'm an X's and O's guy. Chip would run circles around me when it comes to X's and O's, and I know that. But like from just a tape evaluation standpoint, from just watching a game flow, from having an understanding of like what this Raiders team is, what they represent, and where we need to go, I just need Chip's offense to make a little bit of sense. And if Chip's just going to keep on being ignorant and arrogant, then this could be his last game. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be shy. If the Raiders lose, again, I made videos. I think if the Raiders lose to the Browns, there's going to be a scapegoat. There's going to be a fall guy. I don't think Pete has the balls to put the blame on Geno. I shouldn't have said that. I have a lot of respect for Pete. I don't think Pete's got the heart. How about that? I don't think Pete's got the heart to do that to Geno. I don't think he's going to put the blame on his kid Brennan. I think the easy person that they're going to point the finger to is Chip Kelly. We'll see. Next thing I want to see, I can't wait to see Myles Garrett up against Max Crosby today. I'm telling you this right now. Myles Garrett up against one of the worst offensive lines in the Raiders. He might get 5 or 6 sacks today. Like, he is the best player in the NFL. And I know that doesn't get a lot of attention. And there were some conversations, a few years ago about, is Aaron Donald deserving of the MVP? Is Aaron Donald, the best player in the NFL? And I know it's a quarterback-driven league, but Myles Garrett is the best player in the NFL. And he's must-watch television. He's an unbelievable talent. 5 straight years of 14-plus sacks. And the Raiders are going to have to double-team him. They're going to have to triple-team him. They might have to Bonnie Blue him, because that's the only way you're going to slow down Myles Garrett up against this freaking offensive line. But then in the exact same breath, it's Max Crosby, right? Like, a lot of times the media always puts this quarterback against this quarterback against this quarterback. The thing to watch today is the two, you can make an argument, 2 best defensive ends in football. And I know Max doesn't always have the sack numbers, but what Max does in the running game, Aqib Talib, is just proof that he's an unbelievable talent from top to bottom. And, that Browns defensive line has way more talent than what our Raiders defensive line has. But when you have an opportunity to see 2 guys who respect the hell out of each other, who are really good friends on opposite sides, go up against each other and try to outprove that, hey, I'm the best guy on here. And again, Myles Garrett's a better player than Max Crosby. I think Myles Garrett, again, is the true, Like, if you look at what a player is at his position compared to everybody else, Myles Garrett's the best player in the NFL. And I don't think that that's honestly a hot take. I really, truly don't. You guys can let me know if you disagree with it, if you want. But I can't wait to see Max Crosby feast against this Browns defensive line and a rookie quarterback in Shador Sanders that holds onto the football for a very long time. That same breath, man, I'm excited to watch Myles Garrett go hunt against a really bad offensive line with a quarterback that seems to hang on to the ball a little bit too long. Next thing I'm excited to watch. Of course, I'm excited to watch Shador Sanders' first start. I'm excited to see Shedeur. I'm excited to see the eyeballs. I'm excited to see some excitement in that room. I put out a poll on Twitter. There are more Raiders fans excited to watch Shedeur today than they are our own football team, and I'm not going to blame them. And I hate saying it, but I don't blame them. At the exact same breath, you know what else I want to see? A Raiders team prove to me that a brand new quarterback can't just walk in and mollywop you every time. Like, just recency. You think of the Tyson Bagent start. Mollywopped us in his first start. You think of, Mariota this past season. Mariota in his first start of the year. Andy Dalton last season. Believe me when I tell you, I'm actually mad that I could only come up with 3 off the top of my head right now. But if you're a Raiders fan, here's a little ball knowledge check. Give me a quarterback that you know who I'm talking about, like the first start, getting their opportunity, like Baker Mayfield a few years ago, like coming off the practice squad. Give me a quarterback, ball knowledge check here, of a QB that in their first start, short week, something along those lines, has shocked the Raiders, because it's happened over and over and over and over again. And a lot of times, and I get it, there's not a lot of tape on a player, there's not a lot of whatever, but we got to be able to prove to people that you can't just walk into the Raiders in your first start every time and they're going to get you. Just prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I know, again, I said it earlier in the show, and I do mean this. I am excited to watch Shedeur play today. I know a lot of people think that we don't like Shedeur for whatever reason, and I hope that it doesn't turn into something that it doesn't need to turn into. Again, when I talk about the Raiders, I talk about what is told to me. And I was told that the Raiders didn't want to go out and get Shedeur because, again, they were concerned about the off-the-field attention. They didn't want the off-the-field attention. They didn't, love, I would say, his skill set as a quarterback. I know what Pete said this past week, but I feel like that was a nice answer for Pete to be like, and he does. Shedeur's got I actually think, really thick skin. And, you got to be able to give credit to Shedeur. It doesn't really seem like he gets phased out there, and Pete gave his kudos to him. But also, I don't know how many other people have been saying it. I know what I've been told, and I'll just keep saying it. I was told by a really good source that one of the biggest reasons why the Raiders did not go out and draft Shador Sanders is because they wanted Raider Nation to rally behind their quarterback, Geno, and they knew if Shedeur was on this team, they weren't going to do it. Now I look back, and I'm like, you're damn right. You're damn right, and you're probably lucky you didn't draft Shedeur, because if you didn't want that negative attention. Now I'm sitting here going, I'd rather see Aiden O'Connell. I'd rather see Kenny Pickett. I'd rather see just about anything start besides Geno, because, again, I want to be able to root for my Raiders, and I want to be able to root for somebody that I want to see succeed. I do want to see Geno play well, and I do want to see the Raiders win. But that level of excitement compared to AOC, I mean, it's off the screen. It is, and I don't think that's just me being honest. Like, the moment I'm not honest with y'all is the moment I hope you don't watch this show anymore. And that's my God honest truth. The last thing that I want to see is I want to see a Raiders defense show some life, show some heart, make some corrections, be able to bring some pressure. And I want to see a Raiders defense that does everything in their power to make that rookie quarterback, Shador Sanders' life difficult. And I think if we're able to do that, we got a chance of winning this football game. PG's got to be able to prove it. Pete's got to be able to prove it. And I really do think that this is a playoff caliber game. I laugh at myself for saying a 2-8 game is a playoff caliber game, but with the implications that this game could have, again, I think if the Raiders lose to the Browns, somebody will be fired. My best guess is Chip Kelly. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but just because of, I know how Mark is, just because I know the attention that this game's going to bring, if Shador Sanders beats the Raiders, I think somebody's going to lose their job. And if somebody does, you already know. I got you covered, even in the holidays. But, friendly reminder, I do have family coming in, so this week's going to look a little bit different for me. No matter what, though, I'm going to get you guys videos every single day because I show up, I show out. Why? Because Raider Nation shows up and shows out every single day. If you're looking for even more videos from me, again, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be going live today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, which honestly is really, really rolling in here quickly, almost 4 hours from now. If you're looking for even more content, if you made it this far in the video, those are going to be 2 videos that YouTube thinks that you're going to enjoy from me.